hi guys, Cliff here. I've just had a go at maidening the Atom Special. As you'll see in the clip I'm about to show you, it didn't go exactly to plan. I'd had 2 flights or 1.5 flights with the Luobo Autogyro that morning. It was quite a breezy morning, as you'll see, but the Luobo, you know, I really felt comfortable with flying it. So I think no more excuses. It's time to get the Atom out and give it a go. What went wrong? Well, I took off and I had to hand launch it in the end because it was moving slightly off track, so I didn't want to chance it, so I went for a hand launch. It went away cleanly, and it veered to the left and went across wind. I thought, well, I could take it into wind again, but I've got to turn it downwind sometimes, so I went to the right. I decided I would now turn it downwind, and I'm not sure what I did. Maybe I used aileron instead of rudder or too much, I'm not sure, but the end result is what you've just seen on the video there, not too good. So we went over and had a look at it. It does look very sorry for itself. The rotor blades remained intact, but there's quite a lot of damage to the fuselage. Also broke the boom. So I've got it on the bench here. Let's have a closer look at it and see if it's repairable. And here it is. So I've just removed the boom. The boom snapped just there. I could glue it, but it really isn't worth it. If you remember from the original plan, I screwed it. I didn't glue it in, I screwed it. I'm just wondering now, just saying that, had I screwed it, it broke off this front part of the boom retaining plate that holds the servos. I'm just wondering, had I glued it, it might have survived. The momentum broke out this part, and maybe it would have snapped there, maybe it would have survived, I don't know. So looking at the damage, I've got a bit of damage here, a little split there, a crack down the side of the fuselage where the battery, of course, being the weighty bit, I've got a crack here, split down here, the glazing is hanging off, and the undercarriage has suffered here as well. It's where it turns up into the base plate. Not sure how I'm going to fix that. So, there was a split in the tailplane, which I've just run some CA in, and that seems to have held it. One of the things I'm going to do is get more rudder throw, and the way to do that probably is to increase the servo arms on here on the servo, or my alternative, which might be easier, is just to extend the arm on the back here, and that'll give me more rudder throw, and hence possibly more control in the sky. So the rotor blades have survived okay. I do want to put on metal ball links. This arm has bent slightly, but I'm wondering if I can get metal ball links with so the thread doesn't. They did pull out, or one pulled out. So could possibly do with getting those. So been into local DIY shop and I bought some. I think it's 16mm actually by 6, approximately boom size pine. That's a nice piece, but I've got to thin it down slightly to get it to go in the slot and shape it at the top end anyway, so that's to do. I'm not sure how I'm going to... The crack in the fuselage actually goes down. She goes down here and along underneath the missile all the way to here. So it's quite a substantial crack. And there's also Vista glue back in, which is come out reasonably cleanly. what I'll do, I'll strip out the servos and then I can start running CA in everywhere and get this bird. Once it's got a couple of scratches on it, you tend to don't mind flying it a bit more then, do you? Anyway, what I should have done is wait for a better day, because it was rather breezy and I was flying the Luobo really well in the breeze, so I thought it could handle it. But I thought I could handle it. It went away cleanly, as you can see. Really gratifying to see it in the air. Still fairly simple repair. Get it repaired and I'll see you in a minute. So what I do is just glue this piece back in, get it flat, and then I wonder if I could do it all in one go. Might be better if I use a white glue on that, give me time to work. I've got this piece out. Looks a bit religious, doesn't it? Looks like a bit of a church. Okay, let's just glue this in. I've got a split down there, damage on the dash. That bit there can glue separately somehow. So let's just see if I can't. Is that going to go down? Don't want anything in the way that's going to stop it from going down there. The reason this is staying in place, not falling over, is because I've tissued it, didn't I? Let's just wipe that in. While I'm at it, put some on the top here. It's not going to look as good as new. It can't do, but right, okay. Next part of the repair. Let's offer this in. I doubt this is going to go in because it's kind of like forced its way out, and that's probably what split that. So I'm going to have to sand the edges to get it to go. To get it to fit again. Oops. Okay. Let's just pop that in there and get it drying, I think. Let's warp it in there and then bring it out. Oh, there you go. That's falling into place. We're up at Bewley Car Museum, and they had a James Bond display. I don't know if I've told you this already on another video. Anyway, they had a James Bond display, and I couldn't believe how crude the film props were. They weren't any better than this, but put a bit of movie magic on the top of them, and they looked really fantastic. For some reason that front one's not gluing. Just pop a little bit of extra in there while I'm at it. A little bit of extra in there. Just hold that down for a second. Oh, didn't notice that, look. One horribly bent prop shaft. Well, that's a blow, guys. That is a blow. Ooh dear, ooh dear, ooh dear, ooh dear, ooh dear. Okay, off with the prop, off with the cowling, off with the motor. Anyway, the undercart's got to come off because of this. The torsion bit that goes into the plywood plates has elongated. Okay, let me go and make a new boom and I'll come back to you in a minute. It's coming on. Just drilling the holes through the top and just the securing bolts. Well, they line up nicely, guys. So the next step is to possibly, I'm going to still screw this in, and therefore I'll need to paint it really. I was just watching a video, the latest video from Ian on Ian's RC exploits, and he was saying how the humidity, because he flies helicopters as well as aeroplanes, that is, not as well as autogyros, and they were saying how the humidity can affect the linkages, the length of the linkages, and throw the trim of the helicopter out. I was just thinking how technical they are compared to these things, which are not technical at all, when you can make bits out of wood. That's what we like to see. Right, see you shortly. Okie dokie guys, there we are. One new rotor boom. I've trial fitted it, fits beautifully. It's a nice tight fit in here. It's now glued in, so I can go ahead and put a couple of screws in there and get it in, but I'm not going to put it in yet because I've discovered I made a bit of a boo-boo on fitting the undercarriage. Now that is, I've got the return bent to go into the ply plate, but what I didn't allow for was the piece of balsa wood between the two ply plates, so it actually only goes through the first ply plate and into the balsa wood, which is why it's went loose in the crash. So I either bend a new undercarriage or use what I've already got, and that is a piece of brass tube which I'm going to sleeve down into the undercarriage holes that goes right down into the plywood both sides, and then I shall just plug it into the brass tubing. I've got myself a replacement motor, and also I've got some new ball links that'll take a 2.5mm push rod instead of the 2mm, so they're the same length as before. That's as long as they come, but they should be less prone to bending, because the 2mm ones did bend slightly. Quick update: the brass tubes are now in, and they go right through to the upper plywood now, so they're a really nice tight fit. So I'll pop the brackets back on there, but before I do that, I'm just going to put the motor back in. So we've got the wheels back on and the motor in. I've just got to test the rotation of the motor before I put on the back clamp, undercarriage clamp, because it clamps down the cables. So as soon as I've checked that, then I can pop the cowling back on. And it's all coming together. That's front end all fixed up then. I've actually found a bigger control horn, so so I'll pop that in there. And in. A couple of screws in the back to hold it in place, although I can't see that coming out in a hurry. These two screws here, I've got to drill a hole as well for them. Alright, here's the suitable drill bit. All I need to do is to just ease it into the back of that boom, like that. Won't be test flying it again today, it's blowing a hoolie out there. And low pressure is on the way for the next few days, so this one won't be going anywhere. What I thought I would do for the next attempt would be to pick a day when it's reasonably calm. So I think maybe I was pushing my luck with flying it just because I could fly the low oboe in the wind. I was probably flying that with a little bit more abandon than I was this one. I think I know what I did wrong. I think I just turned downwind without enough throttle, and it banked too far and I couldn't pull out of the, just fell off the ball, I think, as Richard told me. and rolled in. I couldn't do anything to stop it. It was just unfortunate, but it caused the damage that it did. But hey ho. Right, let's off up the rotor blade. That's the front, that's the back. Goes on there like that. Pushes down like that. Right, Allen key to push that in. Wind it in, I should say. That one's the right size. Yep. It's looking more like an Autogyro now, guys. I'm happy with the rotor blade. Now I'm going to put the receiver back in. To learn so many skills, don't you, in model planes? At the very least comes to flying of them. Elevator. Right, I think that's all in order. One thing left to do, guys, and that is to find Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond. You should clip in there between the servos. He did eject last time, didn't he? Not object, eject. Like that. There it is. It's back together again. Let's go outside, see if the rotor spins up and see if it taxis. Ho ho! There you are. You can't keep a good Autogyro down, chaps. Fully repaired, ready for trial 2. So, thanks for watching the maiden, beginning of this video. Thanks for watching the repair and this little bit of taxiing, and we'll see you up at the field and see if we can get her in the air this time. This time I'll, well, cheers.